And my name is Jeff Angelo, sitting in for Jan Michelson, News Radio 1040, WHO, Friday edition. Thanks very much for listening in. Well, we're reading about it, we're hearing about it more and more in the media. Pessimism among economists about the economy and the possibility that no matter who the next U.S. president is, a recession may be looming. Let's go to the News Radio 1040 WHO Newsmakers line. Financial strategist Clark Hodges is on the line. Clark, thanks for joining me today. How are you, sir?
Oh, I'm good. How you doing today?
I'm doing terrific. Now, Clark, what's the? Let me just give you the big general question. Like, what's the deal? What's going on with all the mopiness about the state of the U.S. economy and what we might be seeing in the next few months?
Well, that's a good way to put it because it's kind of whiny.
Yep.
We've had growth. We've had growth for 8 years now.
Mm-hmm.
It's not terrific growth. It's not growth you're going to write home to mom about, but
Right.
It's growth. And so everybody's saying, well, this can't go on for 10 years without a recession, basically, which is history talking.
Right.
And that may be the case, but it doesn't really mean it's definitely going to happen. And what's a recession anyway? A recession is basically 2 quarters of negative growth.
Mm-hmm.
That could happen easily in the next couple of years, no matter who the president is.
Well, that's what's interesting to me. You just made a great point, which is this growth is nothing to write home about, but it's growth. Would it be possible that because the growth is slow, you might avoid a recession? Because it's not like we're going gangbusters here.
Yeah, that's a good point, too. That possibly could be the case. What I think is more likely to happen is that there'll be some sort of boost in attitude or cheerfulness or economic optimism based on getting a new person in the White House. Now,
okay.
Whoever's in the White House doesn't dictate how the economy goes. Believe me, I understand that.
Right.
But just having a new person in there and a little bit more optimistic flavor doesn't mean it will end up like Obama. Everybody was happy about him for the first 100 days, and then now I'm saying this is the worst president we've ever had. So, a little optimism will help. And it will drive the economy somewhat, for sure.
Yeah, but it seems to me, am I right in this, Clark, that people look at just the 7 years of growth and just say, look, based on history, this is the point. I'm just kind of interested as to why they're picking this year, the economists that you see in the media, like, well, this may happen finally because we've had all of these years of growth. Is there something about this year that's worrying the economists?
No, I don't think anything in particular about this year because you basically have low interest rates and the market seems to be kind of top-heavy or stalling out a little bit.
Yeah.
I just think it's the time they chose to write the article, the way I look at things. I don't think anyone's going to predict a recession or predict a stock market crash or anything like that. So, look, the next president, if they have a better philosophy on business, people will feel better about stuff. If they have a better philosophy on taxing people, they'll be happier. So confidence does go a long way, and just a new face in the White House could help that.
Yeah, let me dig into that with you a little bit, Clark, because on one point you said, look, the president really can't do all that much about the economy. The other point you said Obama's been a terrible president for the economy. So is it the fact can the president just hurt the economy? Is there anything the president can help the economy with, or just hinder it? What's your view on that?
It's really the attitude, the feeling that he gives off about private sector business, and I think that is really what I'm saying. He's so negative on people that get up every morning, go to work, have a small business, and the only thing on their mind is making a profit and taking care of their family. That's a bad person in President Obama's world. That person, if he makes a profit, he said before, you didn't build that company.
Mm-hmm.
Famous lines. If you've got a company, you didn't do it. And that's just such a negative outlook on small business. He's created an atmosphere where people would rather sit home and draw a check than get out and take chances and risk and try to build themselves into something and better themselves and not accept minimum wage as the American dream. And because he doesn't understand the private sector and never been in the private sector, he's bashing it. And his attitude really has permeated the country. And if you're a capitalist, you make money, and all you care about is taking care of your family and making a profit for your shareholders, you're a bad human being, according to President Obama.
So then let's make the leap then together, Clark. Well, what's driving Bernie Sanders' popularity? Because that's a guy that goes out and is railing against capitalism and rich people, quote unquote, rich people all the time. What's going on there in your mind?
Well, famously, when Rush Limbaugh stated after Obama got his second term, he said, you know what, you're just not going to kick Santa Claus out of the White House. Yeah. And if Obama's Santa Claus, and Bernie Sanders is way more than Santa Claus, if he's going around saying tuition for colleges should be free and the hedge fund managers in Wall Street should pay for it, there are so many 18 to 25-year-old students who are totally clueless when it comes to this issue, because there is no free lunch in this world. Mm-hmm. They've yet to learn that. But that's why he's so popular, because he's just saying something that, hey, that sounds good, a free education, no student debt. I'll go with that guy all day long. But the reality is, he'd be the least of my worries if he were to be elected, because he couldn't get anything done. There's just no way he would get any of his policies through. And when you tell a student who's in college, do you understand that if you make $100,000 under Bernie Sanders, do you know how much money you take home, how much you actually keep? And they don't have a clue. When you tell them $10,000, you're going to tax them at 90% and keep 10%. You think they're going to understand a little bit then what this guy's all about? It's just ridiculous.
This is financial strategist Clark Hodges. So, it sounds to me like Clark, that this means this is why America is just hungering for somebody that would talk about the free market, talk about small business, that would talk about the economy in a positive light. So you're really advocating that attitude in the White House, attitude among our leaders is a big, big thing going forward.
Right. I don't believe in building yourself up by putting people down. Mm-hmm. And everybody has the right to be who they want to be. And just because they're not of the ilk that you like, it doesn't mean you can put them down and build yourself up. And that's really all I'm asking for, somebody that would lead and say, you know what, if you want to get up every morning and take care of your family, go do it. Mm-hmm. If you want to sit at home and take a check, go do it. I mean, be positive and be a leader and be a champion for people having freedoms to do what they want. You know the old adage that's in the Constitution, the pursuit of happiness. Mm-hmm. If my pursuit of happiness is sitting at home and doing nothing all day, I should be able to do that, and the President of the United States not criticize me for it. But if my pursuit of happiness is trying to get as much stuff in my house because I want to work and make money and buy stuff, then I should be allowed to do that, and I shouldn't be criticized for it, and I shouldn't be overtaxed for it.
So is there anything, you're a financial strategist, Clark, let's say that we get another anti-business president in the White House. What are you advising people right now? How do we protect ourselves from that?
Well, the reality is, individually, we can do nothing about who is the next president. We can only cast our one vote, mm-hmm. and after that, we're done. So whoever the president is, they still have to go through the system of getting things done through the Congress and through the Senate. So that's the first thing. And no matter who it is, you like them or you hate them, the system's not going to change. They're still going to have to pass laws through the system, and they can't just willy-nilly sign, although Obama's tried, executive orders into place to change things like taxes and things like that.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, when you have stuff you can't control, I just don't worry about it. And I say to myself, as an investor, what am I able to control? And I'm able to control where I spend my money, where I invest my money. And I'm only going to invest my money in businesses that I think will do well. And I research them and kind of lift the hood up and check out the engine and see how healthy they are. Mm-hmm. And if they're good businesses and good management teams, then I might take a chance and invest in them. And that'll never change. no matter who the president is, you'll always be able to find good investments on the stock market because there are always going to be companies that are doing well, and there's always going to be companies that are not doing well. And our challenge is to find the ones that are doing well and invest in them. And if you just do what you can control, I think you'll be fine no matter who's in the White House.
Financial strategist Clark Hodges. Clark, thanks. Very good comments today, and I appreciate talking to you.
Thanks for having me. Hey, have a good weekend.
Yep, you too.